We'll have 2 videos from today since it died on us. Okay.
What comes in the 99?
9?
We have 1 minute.
No, we don't.
I'm bringing to school tomorrow.
Okay. Alright, now, everybody look at part 3. You can finish through, for tonight, for homework, you're going to finish through 20. Alright, so everybody circle 20. That's what you're going to get through tonight for homework. Yes, it's more than we normally have for homework, but you can survive. So for part 3, to rationalize a denominator. The word rationalize here means that we have to get the radical out of the denominator. This is the square root of the whole thing. So we need to get rid of that radical on the denominator. What you do, first, I would reduce this fraction. What goes into both 35 and 15?
5. My bad.
So we're going to divide the top and the bottom by 5. And 35 goes into 5.
7.
Other way around. 5 goes into 35 7 times. 5 goes into 15.
3 times.
Now, this is the same thing as saying the square root of 7 divided by the square root of 3. We cannot have the square root in the denominator. We cannot. So to get rid of it, to rationalize, you're going to multiply the bottom and the top by the square root of 3. So rationalize means to get rid of this radical on the denominator. You multiply the bottom and the top by the square root of 3. Now, what is the square root of 3 times the square root of 3? 3. What's the square root of 7 times the square root of 3?
2.3.
The square root of 21. And you leave it. That's all you do. Isn't that amazing? Now, what about B? What would you do there?
Like 2?
Multiply by the square root of 12. Because it's already broken apart. So multiply. You could reduce first, or we could just go ahead and multiply by the square root of 12. Alright, the square root of 12 divided by the square root of 12, what? Becomes what? 12. Now we have to take the square root of 6 times 12 is 72y. From here, you must break down the square root of 72 using what we did in part 1. You find the biggest perfect square that goes into 72, which is 36. What's the square root of 36?
6.
So we have 6 root 2y divided by 12. And what does that reduce to? 1/2. So it's the square root of 2y divided by 2. Now, which was easier? Reducing first or multiplying by the radical first? Reducing. So I highly suggest reduce where you can. This can be reduced because they're both under the radical. Reduce where you can. What number do you have to get through homework tonight? 20. 20.
I'm besides eliminating business.
I'm not laminating the business cards.
Can I do it?